Water. We take it for granted. We turn on a tap, and it's there. We wash our cars with it. We fill our swimming pools with it. We water our lawns in the middle of a desert, and never once stop to ask where it comes from. But in Los Angeles, that question has an answer. And the answer is one of the most calculated, most ruthless acts of theft in American history. Los Angeles has no water of its own. Everything you see here, every glass, every pool, every green lawn under the California sun, was stolen. By 1900, Los Angeles had 100,000 people and one river, the Los Angeles River. The same river the Tongva had fished for thousands of years was a modest, seasonal stream. In winter, it flooded. In summer, it slowed to a trickle. For a small pueblo, it had been enough. For a city of 100,000 people growing at a rate that shocked even the most optimistic promoters, it was nowhere near enough. The mathematics were brutal and simple. If Los Angeles didn't find more water, and find it soon, the city would stop growing. And in a place built entirely on the promise of growth, on land speculation and railroad money and the dream of endless expansion, stopping was not an option. Into this crisis stepped a man named William Mulholland. He was not an engineer by training. He had no university degree. He had arrived in Los Angeles from Ireland in 1877 as a young man with nothing. No money, no connections, no plan. He had started as a ditch digger for the Los Angeles City Water Company. And through sheer intelligence, relentless work, and a memory so precise that colleagues said he could recall the flow rate of every pipe in the city system without consulting a single document, he had risen to become the superintendent of the entire Los Angeles water system. By 1900, William Mulholland was the most important man in Los Angeles, and he knew exactly how bad the problem was. He had been watching the river for 20 years. He had measured it, mapped it, studied it in every season. And he knew the truth that the city's boosters didn't want to hear. The Los Angeles River was dying. The city needed water from somewhere else. The question was, where and how? 350 miles north of Los Angeles, on the eastern side of the Sierra Nevada mountains, lay the Owens Valley. It was, by any measure, a beautiful place. A green valley, genuinely green, irrigated by the Owens River flowing down from the snowpack of the High Sierra, sitting between two ranges of mountains like something from a dream. Farmers had been working this land for decades. They had built irrigation systems, planted orchards, raised cattle. Small towns had grown up along the valley floor: Independence, Bishop, Lone Pine. These were not wealthy people, but they had built something real, something lasting, a community rooted in the land and the water that made it possible. They had no idea what was coming. In 1904, a quiet man named Fred Eaton, former mayor of Los Angeles and close friend of William Mulholland, began traveling through the Owens Valley. He told the farmers he was buying land for a cattle ranch. He was lying. Eaton was secretly purchasing land and water rights on behalf of the city of Los Angeles. Every farm he visited, every water right he acquired, every handshake deal he made with trusting Valley residents was part of a plan to redirect the entire Owens River to Los Angeles. And the conspiracy went higher than Fred Eaton. President Theodore Roosevelt's administration was simultaneously planning a federal irrigation project for the Owens Valley, a project that would have guaranteed the farmers their water rights and secured the valley's future. That project was quietly killed. The federal land agent assigned to the valley, a man named Joseph Lippincott, was secretly on the payroll of the Los Angeles Water Department while supposedly serving the public interest. Roosevelt himself ultimately sided with Los Angeles. The farmers of the Owens Valley, people who had built their lives on a promise of federal protection, were abandoned. And in 1905, the Los Angeles Times ran the headline that revealed everything. Titanic project to give city a river. The Owens Valley finally understood what had happened to them. Their water had already been sold. The Los Angeles Aqueduct. 230 miles of concrete and steel, cutting through some of the most brutal terrain in California. Across the Mojave Desert, through mountain ranges, over canyons, under the earth itself. 5,000 men, 5 years. No heavy machinery beyond what mules and human backs could manage in a desert with summer temperatures above 110 degrees. Men died building it, from heat, from accidents, from the sheer physical punishment of the work. But it was built. On November 5, 1913, William Mulholland stood at the end of the aqueduct in the San Fernando Valley as the first water from the Owens River cascaded down into Los Angeles. 40,000 people had come to watch. Mulholland stepped forward. He gestured at the water pouring from the aqueduct, and he said, in what would become the most famous and most chilling words in Los Angeles history, "There it is. Take it." 4 words, the culmination of a decade of theft, manipulation, and conspiracy, reduced to 4 words. Los Angeles took it. Within months, land values in the San Fernando Valley, where a group of investors, including some of the most powerful men in Los Angeles, had quietly purchased enormous tracts of land before the aqueduct was announced, exploded. The men who had known what was coming had made fortunes. The farmers of the Owens Valley had lost everything. And Los Angeles, with its new water, began to grow in a way that no American city had ever grown before. In 1900, 100,000 people. By 1910, 300,000. By 1920, 500,000. The water had worked. But the Owens Valley was not finished. For years after the aqueduct opened, the farmers had watched their valley die. Without the Owens River, the irrigation systems collapsed. The orchards dried up. The farms failed. The small towns began to empty. Everything they had built, gone. And Los Angeles kept taking more. In the early 1920s, the city began buying out the remaining farms and water rights in the valley. Not because it needed more water yet, but because it wanted to make sure the valley could never fight back. The farmers had had enough. In 1924, a group of Owens Valley residents seized the Alabama Gates, a key control point on the Los Angeles Aqueduct, and opened them, sending Los Angeles water flooding into the desert. It was not vandalism. It was desperation. Over the following years, dynamite attacks on the aqueduct became almost routine. The no-name siphon, the Lone Pine siphon, the Alabama Gates again. The Los Angeles Times called them criminals. The people of the Owens Valley called themselves the last people standing between a great city and the complete destruction of their home. They lost. By the late 1920s, the Owens Valley was effectively dead. The farms were gone. The lake, Owens Lake, which had once been one of the largest lakes in California, had begun to dry up, leaving behind a vast, toxic alkali flat that to this day generates some of the worst air pollution in the United States. An entire ecosystem destroyed. And then, on the night of March 12, 1928, the St. Francis Dam failed. William Mulholland had built the dam in the mountains north of Los Angeles to serve as a reservoir for the Aqueduct system. He had personally inspected it the morning it collapsed and declared it safe. 12 hours later, the dam burst. 12 billion gallons of water, a wall of mud and concrete and debris, moving at 18 miles per hour, roared through the Santa Clara Valley. It was 2 minutes past midnight. Most people were asleep. At least 450 people died. Some estimates put the number higher. Bodies were found as far away as the Pacific Ocean. It remains one of the deadliest civil engineering disasters in American history. William Mulholland appeared before the coroner's inquest. He did not make excuses. He said, "I envy the dead." He retired shortly after. He never worked again. He died in 1935, a broken man, living in the house Los Angeles had given him, unable to escape what he had built and what he had destroyed. Today, Mulholland Drive winds along the crest of the Santa Monica Mountains above Los Angeles. Every person who drives it, every tourist who stops at the overlook to photograph the city spread out below, is driving on the name of the man who stole a valley to build what they're looking at. Los Angeles has its water. It has its swimming pools and its car washes and its green lawns in the middle of a desert. It has Mulholland Drive. What it doesn't have, what it has never had, is a reckoning. The Owens Valley is still largely dead. The lake is still dry. The toxic dust still blows. And Los Angeles still uses the water. But a city built on stolen land, built on broken promises, built on stolen water, needs one more thing to truly become what it dreamed of being. It needs a story. It needs magic. It needs a place where the whole world can come and forget, just for a moment, everything that was sacrificed to build this dream. It needs Hollywood. That's next time on The Forgotten History of Los Angeles.